was his approach? What did he say to these ladies right when he walked up?
They started cussing at him.
Y'all hoes gotta get him off this corner, right?
I forgot about that. I ain't seen this forever. I forgot.
But also, his whole thing, top flight motherfucking security, right? If you want to get people to move, again, be polite about it. Again, why? Because there's cameras. And how does it look if you're approaching some older ladies like that? How does that look if you go viral?
Probably gonna happen just like
Oh, that dude's hella disrespectful. You know, all that kind of shit. Whatever. But yeah, you never want to approach it like Day, none of that. And then, oh, here's the other thing. Even when Craig came in, what did he say? Y'all can't be talking to these what? Old ass ladies like that, right? You don't want to do that. And then at the end of it, what did Day do when he tried to? Okay, you got to move.
He touched me.
He what? He put his hand on her shoulder. Yeah. Was that even necessary, especially in these days right now?
They could call that assault.
Yes. Hashtag me too.
Yeah, you have to be careful of that shit.
Do not want to put any hands on
Straight
anybody
call that
right
assault.
now. Okay? So yeah, no top flight, no nothing like that, okay? I don't want you getting to your first jobs as security officers, and that's how you approach people, okay?
God.
Who taught you that? Oh, I saw that. I saw a training video at LPG. All right, if you cannot prevent an incident, the proper action is to observe and report. Observe carefully and report immediately. This is on the test right here, these 2 points. Remember, before an incident or offense happens, it's the prevention. After an incident or offense, it's observe and report. Okay? That's on the test right there. Before an incident is prevention. After an incident, observe and report. That is on the test. All right, if a serious offense has been committed, you will need help to apprehend the suspect. Sometimes, or again, just always call local law enforcement, call the police. All right, sample situation. You are patrolling a store parking lot. A shopper loads Christmas gifts into an SUV parked in the lot and goes back in to do more shopping. The windows of the SUV are open and 3 boys are gathered around the vehicle looking in. As a security guard, what should you guys do?
Call the cops.
Oh man, that's why we're getting in trouble these days. You just want to call the cops for boys standing in front of a car?
Invisible.
Right.
Be visible.
That's a
Be invisible and do what?
observing.
Make yourself known.
Make yourself known. Let them know that you see them. Yes, sir.
I was gonna say it depends on the location too, doesn't it? Because if you approach them and say something, they could say you're harassing them.
Yeah,
But
you're
if you
harassing
stay
me.
in the area and just kind of
Is it
float,
illegal for me to stand right here?
nope,
Is it illegal for me to look inside this car?
nope.
So, again, we're all here to learn. I'm trying to teach you guys. People will call the cops for that all the time. People will call the cops on somebody walking at the park. Okay? And then get mad at us. Oh, why didn't you go talk to him? Ma'am, was he doing anything illegal? Okay? So what else could you do? Drive by. Hey, what's up, dude? What's going on? Is that anything bad? No. But again, 3 boys standing at a car looking in, not illegal. Should you also try to find that lady, or actually once you saw her load the stuff in her car, and then you see the windows open, could you approach that lady and say, hey ma'am, I noticed you left your car windows. I don't know if you meant to leave it open, but hey, we've been experiencing a lot of burglaries from vehicles, thefts from vehicles. You may want to roll your windows up and go home, drop it off, and then come back to do more shopping. Because me as a police officer right now, you know how many reports I have to take during especially Christmas time. Because people don't want their kids to find Christmas presents in the house, they leave them in their car. And again, I work in a tiny little town that borders the Sunnydale and Bayview, and my little townsfolk leave shit in their car wide open so everybody can see. They're asking to be a victim. Okay? I tell them all the time, the town I work in, people don't lock their car doors, people don't lock their house doors because they think they're in a tiny little town. Do you not know which parts of SF, the city we border? I tell them that all the time. I try to educate these people and tell them, yeah, you're in a safe little town, but at the same time, I want to keep you safe. And you better lock your car doors. Stop leaving your purse on your front door of your car so everybody can see it. Don't leave your iPad and your iPhones in your car so everybody can see it. You're inviting people to steal. Especially with San Francisco right now, they ain't prosecuting for nothing. You know, I arrested somebody the other day in a stolen vehicle with a loaded firearm. You know what the DA told me to do? Cite and release. Are you serious? They're in a stolen vehicle, which is a felony. They have a loaded gun in the car. That's another felony. You know why the DA said don't? I mean, granted, we do have a higher conviction rate than San Francisco, but we are still a very liberal county. You know what the DA told me?
I need cola.
The stolen vehicle,
Somebody got the last name cola.
what was it?
Cola.
Cola?
Yeah, that's what he said.
They need to talk to you up front. You know what the DA told me? First of all, that stolen vehicle is a non-violent felony. So, cite and release for that. You know what they also told me? I was like, what about the loaded firearm? Well, he has no previous convictions. So, cite and release.
Damn.
So, that's the society we're living in right now. Stolen vehicle, loaded firearm in the car, cite and release. They didn't want me to take him to jail. I was like, okay, whatever. All right, so those are the things you can do if you see something like that. Don't just call the cops because they're looking in the window, okay? So contact the boys, be visible to prevent, again, in hopes that you deter them from doing anything. Advise the customer before they return to the store, hey, like I said, hey, I see your windows are open, I just saw you load stuff in the car. We've been experiencing, high thefts from vehicles in this area. You may not want to leave it there. Those are things you could do. Again, your job is made easier if you have a good working relationship with local peace officers. Again, never play cop and don't mislead people. Because again, there are those of you who have worked security, you in the back, have you met those security guards that think they're cops? They really think they are.
Cops and supervisors at the same time.
I've met some security officers in the town I work in. Because they work the graveyard shift, they think they can bring some knives that, I'm like, dude, that ain't no knife, that's like a fucking sword. You can't be carrying that. One of them had nunchucks. I was like, have you ever taken martial arts before? Do you even know how to use? What are you gonna do with that? What are you gonna do with that thing? All right.
Isn't that illegal in California anyway?
Yeah, it is.
Just like the bala song?
All that kind of stuff. Kubatons, all that kind of stuff.
Kubaton.
Yeah, all illegal. Remember, in a sense, anybody else?
She said someone Jimmy saw unknown.
Alright, in a sense, guards are paid observers. You guys are paid to watch people. People watch. I mean, shit, back in the day when I was growing up, you'd go to the mall for fun just to people watch. That's where I found my first girlfriend, at the mall. Do people even go to the mall these days? No.
Not really.
Alright, always remember. So again, for the test, what do you do before an incident or offense? Prevention. And what do you do after an incident? Observe and report. Alright, when an incident or offense has been committed, you may be required to do the what? Report to the police, write a report for your company or client, and then sometimes testify as to what you saw, heard, or did. When you write these reports for these security companies, who are you who else are you writing a report for?
Like the court system.
The police get a copy of the report. The courts get a copy of the report, meaning the judge too. Who else?
The job that you're.
The security company wants a copy of that report. Who else? And the client. So if you're at one of those security sites that contract security, the client is also going to want a report. So your report's better be good because a lot of eyes are reading that report. Okay? Always make sure you use spell check and grammar check. All it is 2 buttons. Or nowadays, is it just 1 button? Spell check and grammar check?
I think automatic.
Automatically, right? Maybe. Damn, I used to have to push 2 different buttons. And then testify as to what you saw, heard, or did. All right, I'm gonna call out Stockton. Not you, Stockton, but sometimes you have to testify as to what you saw, heard, or did. I had a class a couple months back. 3 dudes from Stockton. No disrespect. 3 dudes from 3 dudes from Stockton. 3 dudes from Stockton in here. Man. One of them said, well, why do you have to testify as to what you saw, heard, and did? I said, because if you were the witness as a security guard, the judge is going to subpoena you to testify, to put you on the stand, what happened here? I said, well, what if I don't want to testify? I said, well, you know, I gave him the rundown. I said, sometimes you may have to, but if you get subpoenaed, it's a court order. He said, well, what if it's against my religion? I said, well, if it's against your religion, you could possibly write a letter to the judge explaining how it's against your religion, why you don't want to testify. I said, so I questioned. I said, why is it that you wouldn't testify? And I get it. Stockton, I saw some tattoos on him that, I get it. I worked in task force before, so I understood some of the tattoos. He said, well, first of all, I don't want to testify because snitches get stitches. I said, this career, this job may not be for you, okay? Because sometimes you will have to do this. So, whenever I have to go over this line right here and I read the testify, I always bring up the freestyle. All right, what is the difference between fact and conclusion? We will go into that right now. A fact, this is on the test. And I'll go over it. So this right here is on the test. A fact is what has actually happened or is known to be true. Okay? A fact is what actually happened or is known to be true. However, on the flip side of that, a conclusion, this is also on the test. Fact and conclusion both on the test. A conclusion is a judgment or opinion formed as the result of facts. Okay? So fact is what actually happened or is known to be true. And a conclusion is a judgment or opinion based on the result of some of these facts. I'll give you examples. Alright, remember, when we are talking about facts and conclusions, when you write these reports, only write the facts. Okay? Only write the facts. Police officers and your employer are only interested in the facts. Proper facts, they can read your own. So when you as security guards are writing your reports, all you do is write the facts. What is the conclusion for? That's for the police officers to report. Then they write their own. Okay? So yeah, for example, a man was walking inside of a fenced area looking at the loading dock. Okay? A conclusion. A man was wandering out around looking for something to steal. Okay, let me go back. Remember I gave you that example of the lady shopping. She brings out all the presents, puts it in her car, leaves the window open, walks away, and there's 3
you feel? You good? Just take a breath. Okay, Hot Rod, we're going to be the lead car. You go out and do your thing. Accuracy going in, and we'll just kind of see how we're doing. How's the shifting going? Go ahead.
I've been able to keep it in fourth pretty much.
Yep, that's the beauty of a V8. Okay, you're going to stage it here with him. Oh, he wants you to go? Okay, keep
on going?
Yep, okay, but slow,
But
get
slow
the bunch
because
with
we
it.
got tracks.
I know.
Folks on the tracks.
Yeah, so they're going. Now, you be careful about those shifts. You're getting sloppy there. All right? Please.
Okay.
Don't develop bad habits on me.
Okay.
Beautiful track entrance. Stay down low. The track is ours. Go out like we're running.
You can't do that.
Always help the guy behind you. All right.
Yeah,
Just work on that shifting for me. Okay, mid-track, good. Little more throttle, little more throttle. Okay, good throttle setting. We can go better than that. Track in, track in, track in, track out. There you go. A little more throttle now. We got to get with it. Straight line braking. You came in too hot. Okay, I want you to slow that entrance down. Okay, W. Now concentrate. Come on now. I need you over here. Over here. Come on. Now go track out. Good job, Marcus. Stay with us now. Give it all the concentration you got. Straight line braking. Track in. Roll the throttle on. Roll it on. Roll not too much. Okay. Now hit the throttle. Track out. Good. Cone, track in. Nice. Track out, straight out. Nice placement. Now track in. Throw on the throttle. Throttle, throttle. Come on, don't wait for it. Line braking, I want you to slow it down. Turn it in. Don't forget about my cone. Late. Track out. Track out. Track out. Throttle, throttle, throttle. Straight line braking. Come on now. Brake. You need not brake. Now you're all over the place. You got to get into this rhythm here. Okay. More throttle. You're wandering, Marcus. You got to do it like. Come on now. Full throttle. Go. Straight line braking, brake, brake, brake. God damn it. Wrong. You're forgetting everything I've been teaching you. You're coming in way too fast. The speed is not in the entrance, it's the exit.
I got kids, so I always have snacks in my car.
I'd rather work on. Oh, okay. Okay, this is good track placement. This is good. Bring it on in now. You don't have to funnel that line. You want to cut these things in half. Now look for this cone. You hit this perfect last time. Okay, track in, please. Full throttle exit. Left front at that cone. Come on, turn it in, turn it in, turn it in. Let it go out, track out. There you go. start figuring out where the throttle is. But little hit. Little hit.
It could be if they wanted to.
Track in. Track out. Left front. Cone. Come on now, don't forget about that. Good. W, straight for the W.
It's two individual too, because they're the representative.
Outside of criminal court, the security guard got sued, the male did. Do you think he has a false license? The security guard like that? Probably not. You know how they
Good.
so yes.
Nice placement. Good. Come all the way up. Good. Okay, I want you to put the arm out. I need to get to Ryan's car.
Why did you get fired with
Your shifting is a lot better after I made you aware of it again.
Thank you.
Your entrance into the corners, I'd like you to take down about 20% and work on maximum exit speed.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome. We're going to get there. We're making progress, but and then let's go all the way down to the where the flag is, please.
Left or right of it?
Just right straight where
Right,
you're doing.
right of it or left?
Left is fine.
Left is
Right
fine.
here.
Okay.
Good. Okay. All right. Work on the shifting and also accuracy going into the corner.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Oh, isn't that the guy that's taking up the people's claims from that Berkeley assault where they sprayed all the people on the campus with the? Yeah, I remember. Okay, yeah. Yeah, it's the same dude. trans. Wow, bro. You gotta take him off his feet.
Listen to how loud it is when the suspect's head pops on the ground. It literally pops.
Oh, Jesus, dude. You sound like a damn cantaloupe. Yeah, it sound like a damn cantaloupe. Oh, damn, none. He's still hitting him in it. Oh, bro, he's done. Yeah, you done. Now he's gonna rack his shoulder. These guys don't know what the fuck they're doing. Damn. That's front load.
I don't know if you noticed it, but the guy that's recording, did you hear him saying, "Oh my God, somebody call the police, somebody call." Well, stop recording. Call the police. But like I said, if you are working loss prevention, you guys have to do this a lot. Make sure you control their hands and arms, okay? These guys are just trying to put them like a headlock. That ain't gonna work. Alright. Why don't we take a 10-minute break? Take a 10-minute break.
And how turn 5 is the most important. Everyone said that here. If you look at turn 5 now and we're in turn 8, so basically you're getting the horse to a gallop. And then what I wanted to mention about this braking part is that you're not braking to stop the car, it's braking it to go down to a canter. So you're reining in the horse, but then you're unleashing it again after turn 9 to turn 1. So really, turn 5 determines your time all the way through turn 8, through turn 9, all the way to turn 1. So the better you do, and if you're in a manual car, you'll see how you're upshifting over here to a gear that you haven't seen before. It's because you did turn 5 right. So let's head back to the ranch now and then take a break till
Entrance where you're locking the brakes up, obviously. Smooth on them, keep the car rolling. The hardest, probably where you're on the brakes, the hardest this whole track is coming down into 5, right? Most everything else is uphill. You have hills that kind. So it's just about being very smooth. This is a corner, it's fast. It's a keeping the car balanced, don't upset it. And if you're on the brakes too hard, that upsets it, you know. Maybe start the braking a little earlier, you work up to it, and you're on the throttle, you know. If you're off the throttle, especially in a Porsche, you don't have as much control. And when I mean on the throttle, it's just maintenance, it's easy. It's not hammered down or all the way off. But I love this place. You know, don't let it intimidate you, but you have to have respect for it. It's very fast.
Listening to these two guys made me think of something else. The fact that what we do on the street in a car, you come out here in a car you know you're comfortable with, and you think, I got this, I'm really fast on Mulholland Drive. And this environment changes everything. You get into a totally different environment and you start getting a little intimidated in a car that you weren't intimidated maybe with before you came here. And the braking, like you're saying, the braking you do on Mulholland or the canyons or whatever, pretty intense. But when you come out here, it all changes. And this environment that you once were comfortable in is now can be scary and uncomfortable. And if you're hanging it out, driving on the edge, is violent. It's just plain violent. And when you're racing, sometimes it's like a street fight with the other guy, and it can be pretty violent. But to make a fast lap, it's smooth. It's like Rick always says, it's like having a partner and your dance partner, and it's all smooth and it goes really, really well. So it's just another tool in the toolbox. I think everybody here went through an on-ramp on the freeway and just went, God, I just killed it. I nailed it, right? And it's just not the same as turn 8 and 9. Right? So it's right?
I never thought that going around it. Really?
Yeah.
I killed that on.
Some people like lose track. Okay, let's we're gonna go the exit at 9 and be done. Unless there's more questions. Earlier than that, you overslowed this part of the racetrack. If you go flying by it and your bike says, no, I'm not gonna get the throttle till after the cone, you were too quick here. And it is possible you're too quick here. The other thing I like to say is when you're on the edge of the racetrack, some people push that edge a little too far. This Cayenne's got a wheel right out on the white line. That scares me. This truck is a couple feet off the white line. I like that better. Because under braking, we all have ABS now, but the car will start to wiggle. And if you wiggle and drop a wheel on the loaded outside tire,
You're gonna swing.
that's where you're going. And this track's got a lot of lift from the asphalt to the dirt, so if it catches it, that can throw you around a little bit too. So stay a couple feet off the outside, but we want to run the outside of the turn, because the inside, this is a decreasing radius turn too, so if you run the inside, it's going to get a lot sharper and a lot later. So that's the cone use. Yes, sir.
So through the radius, do you have a sustained throttle input,
Yep.
or is it going up? Is it like
My
a
preferred way is breaking a straight line to this one cone area here, and I come off entirely. And I also, a lot of race coaches will preach you don't ever coast. You're either on the throttle or you're on the brake, right? Well, if you're doing 120 miles an hour and you're coasting, you're still going 120. If you're on the throttle, you might make 121. But it upsets the car when you go from throttle to brake. And I'd rather give up that 1 mile an hour and let the car coast for a second, mellow out, get a feel for it, and then at the 3 cone, the first 3 cone, start rolling back to throttle. And I'm really big on maintenance throttle and a lot of stuff. So there's nothing wrong with maintenance throttle. The car's established and safe and it's not wiggly around. But at the 3 cones is usually where I start rolling it on. And if my body feels comfortable that I can, there's a lot of self-preservation going on there, right? It doesn't want you to do stupid shit, and it kind of knows sometimes. So as you're rolling on throttle,
Dragonfly.
2, 1, apex. You should
You're
not
saying
have,
you're typically not full throttle until you're at the
if you're full throttle before apex, you're too slow here.
Okay, that answers my question.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So do you go in and at the 2 cone turn and stand on the throttle? You could, but you'd be going too slow and make the corner. So if you did that and you hit apex, you came off, and you were going fast enough, you'd have to lift at the exit to stay on the track, and that would give up everything you'd gained.
Yes. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, that's clear.
So this corner is like a lot of people bitch about it and they're scared of it, but once you kind of get it. Now another thing I like to do when there's no cones, I put the cones out here to train. That water tower out there, that's at the front gate of Willow Springs, the tall white one. Everybody see it?
Yeah.
So settled landmarks. If you come around Apex, there's this building and that building. Any of these buildings can be kind of in your brake zone. There's also a line of telephone poles that go out into the distance. When I get those on the left side of my window, I kind of think, okay, I'm in a good part of the racetrack. I try and stay on the outside of the racetrack like we talked about. As you come around the corner, that water tower will appear in the right side of your windshield. And as you come around the corner, it comes closer, closer, closer. I try and keep my eyes up because even if I look down for the apex, I head to it, right? So eyes up, and when that tower gets in your right directly in front of you in most cars, then acquire your apex cone, turn down, and it makes for a good corner. So in case somebody falls off the track and takes out all the cones, or they don't set them up for you, those are your landmarks. And we do a race called the Tribute to Le Mans here every year, and it's at night. And again, all the laps I've practiced, you can't acquire that thing at night. So I asked the owner years ago to put a light at the bottom of it to illuminate it for me.
Yeah.
He did.
Okay. I'm having
I didn't
troubles
for years.
locating that water tower at speed.
That's because you drive a Corvette with a really tiny windshield.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
I guess we'll
That's
just
a Corvette
fill it out, but I'm really having trouble like locating it.
Sure.
I don't
It
know
is.
if you have any tips for that.
A lot of people go for here for years ago. I can't find that water tower. That just tells me you're on the edge. You're kind of your filing cabinet's full. We can't stuff anything in there, so we need to probably
back it up a bit.
With you, I'd back it up.
Yeah.
Practice slower.
Yeah.
And get some room in that
Yeah,
filing
because I need to
cabinet
get
so you
that
shove
muscle
some of those
memory
in.
on that tower.
Pardon me?
I need to get some muscle memory
Okay. So this is one of the largest decisions I've ever made that has kind of shook me up a little bit because I've become very attached to Valkyrie. But it's time for us to part ways. It's been a while, but Valkyrie's taught a lot about myself. Don't miss her. Maybe another time I'll be able to find another one, but for right now, I think it's time to let her go. Yep, somebody else will get some enjoyment though, hopefully.